Hello, I hope everyone's okay. It's Friday and it's the end of term and it's our special Jubilee celebration today. So, all the things going on. So, it's really lovely to be in school because it's been dead exciting this week. I've seen all of the block paving that you've been painting. That's going to be our special permanent memorial for the Jubilee. I've seen all the stuff that you've been writing and the maths and the artwork that you've been doing, and it's been brilliant. You've all been absolute stars. Now, exciting day today, and you've learned all about the Jubilee this week. So I've got a royal themed book that I'm going to read to you, and I'm going to treat myself because it's one of my absolute favourite characters. I think that no matter how old you are, you'll probably always love this character. I'm not sure I've read any. No, I might have done. I think I've read one of these books to you before. So one of my all-time favorite book characters is, here we go, Paddington Bear. Paddington. So I'm going to read to you Paddington at the Palace because it's a bit of a treat for me, and I love sharing a good story because, like I keep saying at Wincham, we love a good book, we love a good story, and I bet you didn't know that Paddington Bear went to the palace, but I bet you do know by now which palace he went to. So have a look at the picture, put your hand up and tell your teacher the name of the palace that Paddington is standing in front of. Okay, yes, it's Buckingham Palace. Now, do you know what this flag is that Paddington is waving? Now, some people make a mistake with this one and they say it's called the Union Jack. It's not called the Union Jack because Paddington isn't on a boat. So if Paddington is on a ship at sea and he's got that flag, then it's called the Union Jack. Flags on ships have names, and it's called the Union Jack, but only when it's at sea. When it's on the land, when it's used as Paddington is using it, it's called the Union flag. And the Union is England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And it's got different bits of each of the flags of those countries on it. But we would only call it the Union flag when it's being used on land. So, Paddington at the Palace. One morning, Paddington and Mr. Gruber set out to see the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace. Mr. Gruber took his camera, Paddington took a flag on a stick in case he saw the Queen, and they both sat on the front seat of the bus so that they could see all the places of interest on the way. So, lots of different things in London. Next page. The bus took them most of the way, then they had to walk through St. James's Park. It was a lovely sunny morning and there were flowers everywhere. I think I may pick some for the Queen, said Paddington. I'm afraid that's against the law, said Mr. Gruber. This is what's known as a royal park, and all the flowers belong to the Queen anyway. Besides, it would spoil it for others. If you like, I'll take a picture for your scrapbook instead. Fancy having a front garden as big as this, said Paddington. I wonder if she has to mow the lawn. The bus took them most... there we go. Come on, computer. Mr. Gruber laughed, and then, as they drew near to some large gates, he pointed towards the roof of a building behind them. We're in luck's way, Mr. Brown, he said. There's a flag flying. That means the Queen is at home. So if the flag is flying on the top of Buckingham Palace, it means the Queen is there. If the flag isn't flying, then she's not living there. She's staying at one of her other places. Paddington peered through the railings and waved his own flag several times in case the Queen was watching. I think I saw someone at one of the windows, Mr. Gruber, he called excitedly. Do you think it was the Queen? Now, I wonder, can you see somebody who might be the Queen in that picture? I wonder if you can spot them. Okay. Soon afterwards, they heard the sound of a band playing. The music got louder and louder, and there was a lot of shouting and the clump of marching feet. But by then, there were so many people, Paddington couldn't see a thing. Mr. Gruber wondered whether he ought to suggest holding Paddington up to sea, but in the end, he bought him a periscope instead. If you look through the bottom end, he explained, you can see over the top of people's heads. Paddington tried it out, but all he could see were other people's faces, and he didn't think much of some of those. In the end, he tried crawling through the legs of the crowd, but by the time he got to the other side, the band had passed by. Look, said a small boy, pointing at Paddington. One of the soldiers has dropped his hat. They think it's one of the bearskin hats. It's what they called a busby, dear, said his mother. Paddington jumped to his feet. I'm not a busby, he cried. I'm a bear. Gradually, the crowd melted away until there were only a few people left. Oh dear, said Mr. Gruber, it's all over, and I didn't even get a picture of you with one of the guardsmen. I didn't even see them, said Paddington sadly. Computer's not wanting to turn the page today. Just then, a man in a bowler hat said something to a policeman by the gate and then pointed towards Paddington and Mr. Gruber. The policeman beckoned to them. I have instructions to invite you inside so that you can take a proper photograph, he called. You're very honoured. Paddington felt most important as he and Mr. Gruber followed the policeman across the palace parade ground, and the guard came to attention. I think, he said, as he stood to attention while Mr. Gruber took a photograph, this guard is so good he doesn't need changing. As they left the palace, Paddington stopped by the gates to wave his flag. Do you think it was the Queen looking out of the window when we first came, he asked. It was either the Queen, said Mr. Gruber, or it was someone who likes bears very much. And he took one last picture for Paddington's scrapbook. You must mark the window with a cross when you paste it in, just in case. Me at the palace. And that's the window where Paddington thought he saw the Queen. So there you go, guys. Even Paddington is a big royal fan, a big royal supporter. So it's the last day of our half term, which means that we've got a bit of a holiday coming up. I hope you all have a lovely time. I hope you stay safe and look after yourselves while you are away from school. And I look forward to seeing you when you all come back. See you soon. Bye-bye.